of one aspect, at least, of celebration that is happening in Brazil. Even though, like for instance, in Rio de Janeiro, they incorporate what is called the Holy Mother with an African feminine archetype type thing. So they're equating, and that's where the Christianity parts come in, where, you know, they parade this big statue of Yemaya through the streets, and, you know, but to them it's the Holy Mother, like, you know, like the Virgin Mary, you know, type thing. And, you know how the Holy Mother is the Christian, so, you know, they have Yemaya as the Holy Mother, and she is the bomb. She's just there, you know, she's the patron saint of Rio de Janeiro. So we have, in this reverence, when they're doing this big celebration in Brazil, you have like about 30 million people, okay, who honor Yemaya at this time, and other Orishas, of course. And you have millions more, okay, who do the same thing in the Caribbean and all over the world, okay? So you have Yemaya grants good fortune, and she also grants blessings for the new year. And this particular ceremony usually takes place in December, okay? So we have that ceremony for Yemaya that's going on in December. And this is through Candomblé, and actually December 31st is when they do it, okay? So we have another aspect of celebration where Orisha is promoted to the world because it's done publicly, you see? So these are things that we're talking about here on True Talks with OFAE tonight. We're talking about promoting the goodness of IFA, ORISA-EGUN worldwide, okay? So we have another aspect of Portuguese Afro-Brazilian religion, which is called Umbanda, okay? They do basically the same thing as Candomblé. It blends African religions with Catholicism, Spiritism, and, you know, a lot of indigenous practice, okay? So Umbanda is related to and has many similarities with other Afro-Brazilian religions like Candomblé, Quimbanda, for example. But it has its own identity, though. See, although some of its beliefs and most of its practices exist in the 19th century in almost all of Brazil, it is assumed that Umbanda originated in Rio de Janeiro and the surrounding areas in the early 20th century, mainly due to the work of a psychic medium called, the medium was called Zelio Fernandino de Moraes, who practiced Umbanda among the poorer class people in Brazil. Okay, and they're saying that Umbanda, the people who practice Umbanda, basically poor people. They were not like well-to-do people who did that. Okay, so but Umbanda spread across mainly southern Brazil and the neighboring countries like Uruguay and Argentina. And Umbanda has a lot of different branches, meaning it's something like Palo Mayombe that has all these different branches, meaning different sects of the same practice, you know, and they have very slight differences in the way that they practice. But so with these different branches that they have, there are also slightly different sets of beliefs and slightly different sets of practice. But the main focus, again, is Orisha, Egun, and, of course, Ifa. Okay? So some common beliefs are existence of a single and supreme creator God, okay, represented in the Orisha called Oloru. okay? Olorum, according to, how they say it in Portuguese. They have that Olorum, Anyway, sometimes called, and then they have Obatala, which they also equate as a superior deity, as the supreme deity, and which they also call Zambe sometimes, okay? So we have these differences that come from the fact that slaves came to Brazil or were brought to Brazil from different countries and different tribes of people, okay? So the different tribes of people, of course, they call God something different, each of them, but it's the same God, okay? So they call God something different, and they call Orisha something different, but it's the same Orisha. You see what I mean? So here we go. We have other common beliefs of Umbanda that exist, and these beliefs come from the belief in the natural forces, which, of course, we call Orisha, and they, quote unquote, they're called sometimes deities, and to them, sometimes they function like, like supreme God, like the supreme God, the supreme God himself or herself. Okay, so the Orishas now, some of them are synchronized, of course, with Catholic saints, and who act, as the divine instigator for everything good in their life. Okay, so they also incorporate with the worship of the deities, the worship of the deceased, okay, their ancestors, okay, that they use as guides, all right, who know everything that's going on in the material world. I surely like that. Of course, we call them, the modern people call them psychics. We call them mediums, spiritualists, whatever you want to call them. And that is a very good way for this practice of spiritualism, having meetings with your ancestors is a very great way to begin to understand how to receive messages, build up your own psychic energies, all of these type of things. As a matter of fact, I just had the most wonderful mass, spiritual mass, with a very beautiful group of people on the 7th. It was done on the beach. Oh, my goodness, in the evening, and the moonlight was so beautiful. It was wonderful. So many messages came out. I want to thank all the mediums that were there that were able to pass their eguns. When people pass their eguns, it talks about, like being possessed. I'm just using all these terms so people can understand what that means. So they passed the eguns, and the eguns had all these revelations about what goes on, what is going on with the person. So all of us that were there had very great revelations. We had so much food. Oh, my goodness. We had, fried fish. We had roast yams. We had pâtés. we had cakes. We had wine. We had, some other spirits, some, what was that, passion fruit rum. Oh, my goodness, all of that, and all these things. Of course, we did some very strong prayers for the ancestors, and we asked them for peace and goodness. Matter of fact, this spiritual gathering, this mass, was the catalyst for this program today, because at this mass we had different types of people from different persuasions there. We had some people, they're just into spiritual,ism, esoteric stuff. We had some initiates of IFA there. We had initiates of Orisha. We had non-initiates there. We had people initiated into Palo there. We had a whole variety of different people coming together Of course, people from, different backgrounds, black, white, it don't matter. But it was wonderful. And we're going to do it again very soon. Hopefully we'll do it again around the next full moon. So I'd like to invite, if you're in the Miami area, to look for it look out for the meet-up, the event for the spiritual mass for the ancestors. Look out for it on meetup.com under the group IFA-ORISA-EGUN people. Okay? The group is entitled on Meetup IFA-ORISA-EGUN people, and that's Orisha spelled with an H-O-R-I-S-H-A. Okay? And speaking about things that people do to promote the goodness of IFA and Orisha worldwide, you have your host, OFAE, talking to you straight out of the studio. My co-host is absent tonight. She's at the Jerk Fest, having a ball. Oh, boy, I tell you. Not just having a ball, she was performing tonight with another brand of African spirituality. She's doing a dance called Kumina, and wow, that's some real stuff. Sometimes, I don't know how she could do that dance, because she could get possessed doing that dance. Anybody, oh my God. So, but and LaFay, wherever you are, we miss you here tonight, I'm telling you. So, so we have in the Umbanda, Candomblé, Quimbanda, all of these different aspects of Orisha worship coming out of Brazil, okay? So, but the most and one of their important aspects of their spirituality is to incorporate the spiritual masses and deal directly with their ancestors, their spirit guides, and also they believe very much in reincarnation and spiritual evolution through the worship of Orisha. Spiritual evolution through the worship of Orisha and through the worship of their ancestors, that after you die, even though you may not have achieved what it is that you came here to do, because somebody remembers you and prays for you, that your spirit will still elevate after you die, even though you didn't accomplish what you came here for. You see? And in that way, when the spirit elevates, then your ancestors are able to help you in returning the material world. You see? But that's a show by itself, I'm telling you. That's a show by itself, how to deal, with the ancestors and what levels of spirituality are there, That's another show. So before we go on to the next group that celebrates IFA-ORISA-EGUN in whatever form they do, I'd like to bring on caller 704. Caller 704. 704, you're on the air. Woo. 704.
Yes. Hi. Hello.
You're on the air. Yes, good evening. You're on the air with True Talk with OFAE. How are you tonight?
I'm fine. What I was interested in you speaking on is people who are just coming into the spiritual awareness and what they need to know to have balance in their life dealing with their newfound spirituality.
Okay, can you repeat that for me?
One moment.
Okay.
What I was saying is it would be nice, since we're talking about the different types and aspects of the different religions in South America, Brazil, the whole diaspora, I'm talking about the Caribbean aspect. But
okay.
really don't understand It has a lot of different